me just try. Worst case, 1 year, 2 years, I'll be out. But I was still doing my 9 to 5. I was doing my 9 to 5, and then I decided that okay, you know what will happen? I just don't want to stop at being from just my natural gifting. I wanted to learn more about it. But at the time, we could take me to like an interior design school, and the schools that I wanted, apologies, I just wanted to go to like it's like it's Nigerian school basically. And at the time we couldn't afford it. You know, and we self-taught, and then let's see how that goes. So he will provide internet in the house, and then what I'll do is that I'll just in the world in interior design, download their curriculum, and then start to use subject, maybe say lighting, for example. I'll read everything almost everything I can find. You're reading free stuff online. Some, might not be true, some will be true, but at least you'll get value from most of them. So that's what I did like for like 2 years, right? Every single day. I'll go to work, come back, and then I'll dedicate 3 hours in the night to actually study interior design by myself, right? And so I started the business, right? Because my do interior design, for example, you can't just say, oh, I have 10,000 naira, come and do my house or come and do my space. Like you money, right? And then people would always ask me that, oh, what have you done before? And these are legitimate questions, because somebody wants to trust that okay, this person I'm giving my money to, they can actually do the work. I don't have. So I decided that okay, instead of always asking to take a space in my room. And so you can also look at your own business as well, that what are the things that now everybody has like different businesses that you're doing, what evidence of what you're doing, right? Again, depends on the scale of your business. So I took a room, and thankfully that time I think I just given birth to my first child. And so I did up a nursery. After doing up a nursery, I did it really well, and then took professional pictures of it. Oh, okay, this is really nice. So if you can do a baby nursery, I believe you can do a living room as well. I believe you can do a bedroom. I believe you can do a kitchen. And then that was how, we started, we kicked off. Yeah, the first 2 years, it was a bit rough because we weren't getting as many projects as we were going to get, right? So until there was a particular project that I did, right? And this is something that I would like to, I want us to learn from. So I done this really small, like very, very small. But there's one principle that I have as a person, that regardless of the amount of money that we're going to get, because trust me, whether you even get 1 million, 10 million from a project, the money will finish. If it does not finish today, finish next year. If it does not finish next year, it will finish in 2 years' time. But guess what? The quality of work that you have done is going to last longer than that money. So why don't you just do it well? So this particular project, but I decided that regardless job. So when we were done, we noticed that there was this like wardrobe that needed fixing. It was a rented apartment. I spoke to the client and I said, oh, client, that this wardrobe, rather, but this particular wardrobe is standing out and we do not do enough. That please can that sorry that he understands what I'm saying, but unfortunately, like his budget is so tight and he cannot afford it now. I was like, okay. And I had like the option is our profit or just leaving it like that. I'm not going to complain if we don't do anything, right? But I decided that, you know what we costed us our entire profit. So it meant we're not going to make any money. But I decided that, okay, we'll do a decision as a, again, I think that in line with the principles that I have set and standards that I've set for the company, it was easy to make that decision. And so we did it, right? And say the client was, grateful, wasn't expecting it, but they were grateful, right? And we understand that, it was a rented apartment, so they didn't even want to do any structural adjustments or anything. Cut long story short, I think a month after, the client's friend came to the house, right? They were discussing, this other guy was, a bachelor, they were discussing different things and all of that. And then this other guy says, I'm moving house Monday to Sunday, right? I go to work Monday to Sunday, and I don't have anyone to help me, with my space. And then this client that we just finished working for was like, oh, okay, I know someone who, she just did my baby's room this as well. And, because they were both in, my own client then took him, saw everything. Immediately that he was there, he put a call. He put a call through to me. I was like, oh, hi, like I'm at so person's house and I can see what you've done. It's amazing. This was on the Thursday, I think. Are you busy? Are you free on? And then I was like, oh, okay, hi. You know what? Let me call you back. Let me check my schedule. I called the phone. I was not busy. I was not, that I don't have any form activity. So I was dancing, like I just play music. When 10 minutes was now up, and I called him. I was like, oh, okay. Hi, you said Saturday, right? He said, yes. I said, he was like 9 a.m. I was like, you know what? I'm free. I'm busy in the morning. But I was actually going to be busy that morning, maybe like praying or playing with my child. That's valid enough. But anyways, 10 o'clock, went for the meeting. So we agreed and then went for the meeting. And I went to his house. Cut long story short, it was a two-bedroom apartment. He wanted us to do the entire thing. Like all that money that I did not get, the first client, his friend, I made sure that he zapped it out from that one and his own as well. I'm just joking. But anyways, like you see, like, because of the work that has been done at that job, it's possible that he might have gone to the room and like, who did this type of work that did not, that this wardrobe is looking shabby like. Parents will not explain because sometimes the other person would be asking these questions in their head and not even the client himself can explain and say, oh no, we're the ones that did not give her money. When you do work, long after you've already gone, right, your work will be speaking to places whereby even you yourself, I've had stories of, maybe like an hairdresser did an amazing work here in maybe Lekki, the person Abuja, and governor's wife is saying, I will make this hair very nice. Most times, like the works of your few places, you want to make sure that that work or your job is excellent enough to be able to speak for itself, shouting, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. You get. And then he did a housewarming, right? After he did the housewarming, he called so many of his friends again, and then 7 people collect. The rest is history. My point is, as you do work, there are basic things. We had a project as well, in Nigeria, where we did, a project, very, 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 very stressful. But regardless, again, because of the principles and the values that we have set, as a company, we follow through and make sure that went ahead to give line. The client was transferred to Rwanda, and he was like, I am bringing my own interior designer from Nigeria to Rwanda. And this is like a multinational company that he was working for, and they could afford to get an interior designer in Rwanda, right? But he decided that he wanted to work with us. And so he flew us to Rwanda to do up his house, right? So there are many stories like that. Again, you have to sit down. Is sometimes is really hard, right, to follow through on some things in terms of like excellence and uh, go through some of the that I have. I know that I have probably maybe like around 6-7 minutes, right? I'd already mentioned that your work will speak for you. You're diligent in the work that you do, right? As a business, or as setting up a business, make sure that you're value oriented, right? And you make sure that you solution, because if you are not there to solve a problem, if they're not there to provide solution, there is nobody would like money will not if you're not there. Like if somebody thinks that why do you think they pay us money to do stuff? Is because the person is supposed to do, or they cannot do it at the cannot do. So it means that you're providing solution. Make sure that that as you're starting a business, have it at the back of your mind that you plan to succeed. But yes, the business is going to go like from point a straight line, like this zigzag, it's up and down, seeding, right? It will be frustrating, it will be overwhelming, because there'll be load and be going. Yes, there's some businesses that have reached this peak. So age, we're in the computer world now. Imagine somebody's coming out and saying that they want to sell typewriter. Do you understand? Like it's not possible. Like who will buy typewriter at this stage, right? So yes, there's some businesses that is already dead on arrival. There's no point starting to thrive. But at the time, you feel like it's not worth it. But I'm here to just encourage you that that's not it. Now, another point is speak up about your business. Now, we are in an era whereby technology, social media especially is at our doorstep or fingertips. Let me say 15 years. Like so, the business has been running. My business has been running for 7 years now, 7.5 years. What we've been able to achieve in 7 years, I can say that without social media, I would explain. People I said earlier, people would always ask, or guys at the top before, what they would normally do is have like a portfolio, or like media. I can post a picture of the job that we've done on our page. He has seen it. Somebody in Agege has seen it. Somebody in Abuja has seen it. Somebody in Oyo State, in London, in Australia, in Canada has seen seconds, right? Like I did not have to be traveling to all these places to carry my portfolio, and show them. So if we have that power, right? I know that yes, there are the good sides and the bad, to follow through the good sides and then reap out of the good. Tremendous blessing to my own business. I think that 90% or 95% of my clients, because for my own kind of business, it's hard to thrive on repeats, because somebody does somebody's house today, and the person calls me back in the next 6 months, come and redo that house. Then I failed as an interior designer, except house, because ideally, if you don't for like another 5 years or 10 years, you decide that they want to. Business is a bit hard for us. So We thrive on referrals and, social that will say, or friends as well that will say, for me, I'm not a social media person. If you're not a social media person, at least you can hire someone to help you with it. But my point is that um, just try as much as possible to market yourself. Like, no one will market your business for you. It's like a lady, or sorry, like a guy now, maybe he likes a lady and they're at a party and then they take light. That's when it's not possible now. The girl will not see him, right? But if you know that you want something, make sure that it is visible and people see it. Market your business, tell people about it. Don't be shy, right? Don't be shy about it. Make sure that as you're starting your business, the legal requirements you would need to start your business. Make sure you go and get the documents that are not needed now, like just basically registering the business and making sure that you understand, when to start paying your taxes and making sure that you pay them as well. Another, even while doing your business, even as we are 7 years, this principle is still very relevant to us, and that is cutting costs at all costs, right? So every time you look at it and say, is this cost, we feel like we have to spend that money to get the service. There are many ways to get something, or exploring different options. Example, there's some services while we're just starting that we were to pay money for, maybe like HR services, accounting services, legal services, and all that I just did was, I spoke to friends, right? My friends that were also just starting up, or they are just maybe you just finished school and you did 4 years accounting. Like, why can't you help me? Why can't you just give me like some advice, right? So basic, that's my point. We have friends, we have family members that are expertise in some of these things that we are not expertise in, guys, right? It has gotten to a level whereby that you can now start starting to pay people, right? But as much as possible, at all costs. Another thing is, this is really, really important as well. Like, have a heart of service. You from other people will be a heart of the 1 more minute to go. But a heart of service is very, very important. It's what distinguishes us. They're extremely great at what they are doing. That is the way one person is serving their clients. Like, I always give this scenario. If I have two tailors, one is maybe charging me 10,000 naira for a dress. Fantastic. Like, if I wear it, that one is, but this particular person is extremely nasty, right? It's like anytime you go there, you will just be praying that she's not on her bad side, because even her good side is even bad, right? And then you have another tailor that is charging 12,000, you like a king. Most likely go for the person that is just 2,000 naira above the other person, right? So doing business, we have like this heart of our clients, to be compassionate as well. Now, like I mentioned before, challenges will come. There will be situations whereby, there'll be many challenges, right? But I think that just understand why your whys would also help to stay afloat and stay in business. That would come up during question and answer, and I'll be able to elaborate on so many other things as well. Thank you so much for having me for now.
Thank you very, very much, Morenike. I think though the network bandwidth tried to get in the way, but I'm very sure that we got a lot from what Morenike said. We are going to have the opportunity to ask her questions during the questions and answers. Okwe, I'm going to hand over to you to proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Thank you very much. We have a lot of questions, and thank you for
Okwe, we are not
answering.
hearing you clearly. There's to be some noise. Are you able to move closer to your mic?
Yes, very well. Can you hear me like
Great.
this?
Better, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Morenike. Thanks for giving us the
Thank you so
opportunity to learn from you. And so briefly, you gave us 4 points, more than 4 points, but I was able to pick 4 points. You said we should learn to add value. So that means that the more we add value, the more we earn. So we should focus on adding value to our clients. We should focus on adding value to our customers, so that our value, our work we speak. I noticed that you made mention of our work we speak. That means, and I'm also most of the jobs you got were based on referrals, and so that means that if you had value, and if you put in your best in anything you do, people will always come back for you. And secondly, is you also said that we should learn to talk about our business, and you gave us the advantage we have nowadays in terms of using our social media wisely. So at least we should put up, we should put we should put our work on social media. We should let people know what we do. And you also said about cutting costs to cut costs. That's nice. That's powerful, because this in this aspect you are talking about us being learning to 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 create sustainability in our business. So that means that we must learn to think about cutting costs, leveraging on other people's network or on our friends. I can remember that you had made emphasis on learning from our friends, learn from our friends, especially people that we know that especially especially people we know that we need their services, but right now we cannot afford such services. So we can learn to leverage on our friends, on our network, in order for us to cut costs. And and then lastly, you said that we should have a heart of services. So that means that I think from here, what I can see, what I can learn from here is that we must learn to give in our best, even when it's not paying out. So let's say the money is not much. Let's say that okay, normally you charge like 50K, and these people paid like 40. Maybe the gain at the end of it is not that much. So at the end of the day, you may be thinking that, oh, let me just render this service, because let me just render this service shabishly, or let me just do this. So having a heart of service also means that you giving out the best, even
so you are making plenty money or you're not making money off of the point whereby you're making so much money that you're just like be very complacent, right? So regardless, just make sure that you have like a heart of service, whether you're charging them plenty high or low, just make sure that you keep on, having a heart of service.
wow, wow. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we have a lot of questions for you. So before we pass on these questions, before we start asking you some questions, yeah. So let's quickly have Mr. Peterson. So Mr. Peterson, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank
Can
you
you hear
very
me?
much. Yes, I can hear you very much, sir. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to hear from you. So we'll be having you to today's session as our second speaker.
Okay. So I have 15 minutes to speak.
Yes.
All right. Moran, Okoyemi, my surname is Atoy. Ikponsa Atoy.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And
Atoy.
At all, don't murder it, okay?
I'm very sorry, sir.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, wow. How did I start? Okay. I think it's all about passion. When I was in the university, I always wanted to own my company, okay? And it was really not easy, even when my friends around then, like, you think is something you just talk about and all of that. I said, no, I really want to own my company. The likes of Steve Jobs, Bill Gates then, having their own company from nowhere, and they were able to change the world. So I was really engrossed with it, and I wanted to own my company. And I crossroad with two mentors who actually helped me during my university days. And I liked them so much then because all they talk about is only their own company, And they set up a company even when we were in school. So I so much liked them then, and I was able to draw inspiration from them. And that kept me going. So after graduation, and it wasn't easy. My parents weren't ready, so there was no grant to start your stuff, and it was a tough one. So if you have something that you believe in, you need to pursue it. Okay. I was doing that, even though there was turbulence, challenges here and there, but I was chasing it. To cut long story short, I got some kind of contract job in one of these oil companies, and they called me to build a system for them, which I did. After building the system, I was working with them. They offered me an employment to be with them on contract just to support the application. I declined because I never wanted to do that. So they now said, okay, how are we going to do it? I told them, I would like to be a consultant to you, that I have my own company. I don't then. I have my company and I would like to be a consultant so that I will support the application. And they accepted. So they paid me salary that month, and that was what I used to register my company. So I want to quickly talk about what actually kept me going. Okay, I will just want to share that with us. What kept me going really was persistence. Okay, and what is persistence? Is a fact of continuing in an opinion or a course of action. In spite turbulence, difficulty, you persist. And persistence is a key element that must be in you as a startup. Okay, and I really didn't know that it was persistence that kept me on. It was just more like instinct. I had to stay by that course of action and with passion, and I believe so much in it. So I was chasing it. Okay, so chasing it rather. So it was really what kept me going. Okay, then another thing too that did not deter my persistence was when you try to measure up your success with people around. Success is actually a relative term. So when you try to measure, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We hear you very well. Continue.
Okay. My WhatsApp coming up.
Nothing is showing, just your video.
Okay, fine, good. So success, like I said, success is a relative term. When you do not get a desired result for a course of action, it doesn't mean that you've failed. It means that you've learned that this process doesn't work. Thomas Edison said that he has not failed in all of his trials, that he has found 10,000 ways that won't work, you know. So for all that we do, I still do not believe that there is anything like failure when you want to try out something. There's nothing like failure. It's just that you've discovered another way. You've discovered something, you've gained experience that this process does not work. So you'll be able to share that later with people that are coming up. So 3 things really kept me going during that period, during my startup period: hard work, persistence, and the third one, common sense and creativity. So I would like us to have that in mind as a startup. It is very key. And in persistence, I was able to put some things together. Then 4 main ingredients, okay, that still keeps me on going. You know, during my course of startup, it wasn't easy. The challenge was enormous, being that I just started from nowhere. You know, I need the contacts, I need the capital to start, I need an office. It wasn't really easy, but I persisted, and I'm sharing my story today. So one of those ingredients is for you to have something worth dying for, okay? I met a mentor of mine who told me that, Peterson, if you don't have something worth dying for, you are not worth living. That was the first time I heard that term, or the saying, until I came across it later on. Martin Luther said, life isn't worth living until you have found something worth dying for. So one of the ingredients is that you must have something worth dying for. In this context, your passion, your idea. Are you willing to die for your idea? Literally, it's not like you're going to kill yourself for your idea, but I'm just saying literally, are you willing to die for your idea? You need to position yourself in that tight angle that I'm willing to die for this idea. So you need to have something worth dying for. That is the number 1 ingredient. The number 2 ingredient, you also need to set project goals. You need to set timelines, roadmaps, target and deliverables. You know, make the days count and don't count the days. Okay, yeah. Another the second ingredient is do not be afraid to fail. I've failed severally, and I kept on going. You know, I'm not always scared to fail. People laugh at me. Okay, fine. After laughing at me, tomorrow you come and also rejoice with me. Okay, so do not be scared to fail. It's key. Try it out. If it doesn't work, try another process. Okay. Then the last ingredient I put together is also channel your energy towards the right cause. You know, most times. Hello? Is my time up? Hello?
Continue. You have a few more minutes.
Okay, yeah. So channel your energy towards the right cause. Okay. People usually, especially young ones now, they usually look at the top and say, "Oh, I want to be there." But you actually channel your energy towards the wrong cause. What you should be concerned about is the distance between where you are and that top, the bottom and the top. So if we can channel our energy towards understanding the distance and know how to go through to the top, it will help us persist in the right course. Okay, so I want to leave you with this saying by Benjamin Franklin, that energy and persistence conquer all things. Okay, so this quote kept me from my university days up till now. Considering where I am today, I still see myself going up there, and I'm still persisting, and I'm still in my course of action. trying to push my ideas, push my my own thing right now, so that I can also climb to the top, probably to close to Dangote, likes of Dangote and the Andenugas are. Okay, so I would like to encourage you to persist, have the hard work. You should be hardworking. And lastly, creativity and common sense. Thank you. Rest my case.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Peterson Atoy. Yeah, Peterson happened to be one of the foremost pioneers of Village Square. You know, Peterson started learning. I think I started teaching Peterson, and that was where the idea of Village Square came about, and then we started the journey. Today, Peterson has helped us to employ some of the graduates from Village Square trainings, and they're actually working with him, and they are making good strides. So thank you very much, Mr. Peterson.
Since you have brought out your leg, it was a mentor that told me that you need to have, if you don't have something worth dying for, you are not worth living.
Okay, over to you.
That Mr. Peterson Atoy. And thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for sharing your experience. And briefly, I would love to do a recap of what Mr. Peterson Atoy said to us. And he said something. He said 3 things keeps him going: hard work, persistence, and creativity. So he said persistence keep him going. Persistence means that you must have something worth dying for. And one of the best way to be persistent is you trying out new things. Okay, you try one process and this process is not working. Try another process. So keep developing ideas, and do not be scared of trying out new things in your business. Okay, so I talk about hard work. Of course, hard work is something that, okay, he said something, he said we should channel our energy towards the right cause. Yeah, that's where the hard work is. I think that's where the hard work aspect is very relevant. So that means that we must be hardworking, and we must be channeling this energy towards the right course. So what's the right course? That's the question that people are asking. And he said something. He said the right course means that watching the distance between where you are right now and where you're going. That's the right course. So so you must have a timeline. And how do you do that? Create a timeline for yourself. Set a goals, achievable goals, set achievable goals and deliveries. And he also said something, the last one he talked about creativity and common sense. So I think creativity is somehow linked towards you trying out new things. So that means that if you being creative means you trying out new things over and over, and not be scared of trying out new things, and not being scared of you failing at all. Yes, failing. Yeah. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and a sincere appreciation to you, Mr.
You're
Peterson
welcome.
Atoy. And so we have questions, sir, and we'd love to direct the question first to you, and also to Ms. Morenike. So the first question is, when you started off, did you have a strong belief in yourself?
Am I responding or ladies first?
You are responding first, then I'll move to
Okay, yes. I spoke about it. Passion. I so much believe in myself, and I so much believe in this course of action that I want to own my own company. I so much believed in it. And that was what actually kept me going. Yes, big yes.
Okay, Ms. Morenike, can you just answer that question, please? When you started off, did you have a strong belief in yourself? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, or yes, ma'am. Which one? Hello? Okay.
Yeah. The question is, Ma, when you started off, did you have a strong belief in yourself?
In myself for the
Yes. When you started your business, did you have a strong belief in yourself? What keeps you going? Did you believe in
so
your
so
business idea?
right as an individual. mm,
Okay.
Naturally, I believe in anything that I want to do, that I have decided to do, right? I believe so much in it, right?
Okay.
So first off, growing up, I grew up in an enabling environment. I grew up in a very loving environment. I grew up where, my father, I did not know the difference between being a girl and being a boy. Is like my parents would treat us equally, right? So there was nothing that I did not think that I could do. In fact, it's only if I don't want to do that thing that I will just decide I don't want to, but I still believe that I can do it. So yes, going into business, immediately I realized that I wanted to do this. I was like, I'm going to do this for the long haul. Like I have no plan B except maybe to diversify into other businesses. As from the beginning, I'd always been myself as a business person and also in the thing that I was going to do. And it also helps, with my faith and my belief, right, that it would prosper. Whatever it is, if I like, I should go and sell sand, or I should sell air, or I should sell anything of my hands. So having that mindset has really helped me, and I think that's what keeps on me, because even as you then begin to, even after starting the business, there'll be many challenges and doubt yourself sometimes. But again, ultimately knowing that you're here for the long haul is usually it's just something that you need to have. So yes, to answer your question, that same belief, the same belief that I know that this business will be here for my children's children, would be here to see it. Will they be the owners by the time? I don't know. It depends on the structure that we've put in place. But I know like 100 years from now, if Jesus tarries, the business and the company will still be in existence. So yes.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you very much, Morenike. Just to, sorry, Okwe, before you continue, just to let everyone know that we already have a short list of the finalists that will be going into the challenge. So after this question and answer session, we're going to be reading out the final list. So please just hold on at the end of this session to hear that. So I think we have somebody raising up their hand. Justice Murai.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this wonderful opportunity. Okay. So, Mr. Peterson, I really appreciate nice meeting you as an alumni of my university, University of Benin. After reading your profile, I was really inspired. Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege. Okay.
That's cool.
You said that. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. I said thanks.
Okay.
Thanks again. Pleasure meeting you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. You developed your passion for business right from the university, and it's carried until you finish before like settling down to really do something. I just wanted to ask. For me personally, also have the same passion right from 100 level, and this is my 300 level in University of Benin. I've been able to take bold steps into my idea mobile dish, which is the food and delivery startup. I've registered and a lot of things that's really studies and stuff like that. And thank God for this opportunity. Advice, what other means do you think someone like me personally can like raise funds? Like for you, like you said, raising fund was one of the challenges you had, and it spanned until you finished school before like working around things to like really start the dream you had of owning your own company. And the same thing is happening to me right now. Finance has really been like a kind of like challenge to some extent. So I don't know, one-on-one advice, what other opportunities you know out there? At least you've been out there and you've been interacting with a lot of business persons and opportunities, and you really know what to say when you see a young person that, okay, you take this opportunity and raise money for your business and stuff like that. So on one-on-one, what opportunities do you think you can really refer me to be able to raise capital for pursuing my dream as a student and as owning a company? Thanks, sir.
Okay. Opayemi, can I respond?
Yes, sir, you can, sir.
Okay, pleasure meeting you. It's good to hear that somebody from Uniben is in this boot camp. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. One thing you need to understand, okay, capital or what you need to start up your business is really not the first thing you look out for, okay? I'm sure you already know that. And you have the idea already. This platform that you have an opportunity to be in, we never had such opportunity. So now this is one of the opportunity. If your idea scaled through, rather, it means you would have some, probably if you won the competition, you would have gotten some startup capital, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so one thing you need to put pressure on, try and make sure you win so that you can start up from there. Secondly,
thank you, sir.
You can also approach individuals like myself, okay? And because
Yes,
our banks, our financial institution, they're messed up. By the time they give you the condition, at the end of the day, you'll be working for them, okay? So you can just approach individuals like myself, share your idea with your with a good business plan, friends, and family too, friends too. Just approach them, and we're all Christians. Be prayerful about it. And if you have good idea and you have passion for it, God will definitely link you up with people that will help you. That's all I can say here in this part of the world. If we're in the other part of the world, there are mediums that you can approach and quickly you get results, it will assist you. But over this side, this part of the world, we have to be prayerful and we need to help ourselves. So basically, you just need to be prayerful. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for responding. A sincere appreciation to you, sir. So I have another question. I think someone is asking a question from you. The person said, please, what are some of the legal challenges you faced during and after your business launch, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, maybe we can post that to Morenike. So Morenike, okay. Can you respond to this?
Okay, so at the moment, the only legal things that registering the business, right? The legal, when we're creating our board. What else? This person is actually requiring question. But those are the like things legal. We have like we have consultants, so they keep us compliant in terms of like all our taxes. So even before, I think so. We started business 20 do anything past until 2015. So by 2015, we made sure that between 2015, that I think last week our accountant still paid all our taxes for the previous month. So we are very, very compliant, like when it comes to things like that. We also audit our account as well. And we audit our accounts based on many factors. One of the reasons as well is, we are working for like corporate clients are one of the requirements that our audited accounts or like our financials. And there's some of the awards that we get nominated for. They would ask us for so basically those are the been involved with when it comes to like legal. Like I said, just making sure. So if you're registering your business as a business entity, fine. If it's going to be like a limited liability, make sure that you register it appropriately. Know when your tax holiday is, how long it is for. Immediately your tax holiday is over, make sure you start paying your taxes, because that's where government will come for one big money on your head and say that you're owing this amount of tax, but if you have been paying your tax, there's some times where the government will give us, like unreasonable bill to pay for our taxes. We speak with source. They also speak to the government to pay this amount of money. So those are the conversations that we have, and it's really helped us as well. So just make sure that your books are in order. In business for almost 8 years now, and we haven't had like any case whereby we have to go to court or we have to go somewhere because we were flouting one rule or the other. It's just basic. Make sure that whatever it is that you register your business as, make sure that you just cross all your I's. Is it cross all your I's? Dot all your, you're not any harassment whatsoever. So if you're just starting out, you are good. Just make sure that the relevant things that you need to register.
Thank you very much, Morenike. I think that question has been answered successfully. So in summary, make sure you are registered properly with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and then ensure that you know when your tax holiday ends so that you can start filing your tax returns annually. And then just ensure that your books are always up to date and audited, and you should be fine. Okay, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. Thank you very much, Ms. Morenike. So we have another question here, so that I would love to read out. Okay, please, sir, I think this is directed to Mr. Peterson. Please, sir, how did you get skilled people to join team at the early stage of your startup, even where you didn't have enough funds to manage them?
Okay, that question is tricky. The truth of the matter is this: the kind of job I do is software based. So I was the developer, the tester, the marketer, a support person. So I was doing everything when I started. Even though I have different emails that I use to correspond or to exchange mails with my clients. Okay, but I was the only person doing everything. I'll get the contracts, do the user requirements, provide documentation, develop the software, deploy it, train, and also support until I started making some money. I was able to get one or two people like myself, loyalists like myself, to join me. And some of them are still with me today. So it was more like hard work all by myself before I started making some money.
Wow. Wow. So wow, this is nice, and this is great. This is challenging as well. So that means that at the initial stage, we should not be thinking of scaling up our business. So you should do it all by yourself. So don't think of scaling. I think scaling too early is one of the things that affect startups. So yeah,
Yeah,
yet
yeah,
to
you
create
know,
a model.
you need to understand something. Like I made mention earlier, this part of the world we do not have access to grants. If I had access to grants like Facebook did, probably I would be like Mark Zuckerberg today. I
Wow.
didn't. I never had it. Okay, so you just have to do it yourself, especially
Mm.
when it comes to a job like mine, software development. You have to do it yourself. So scaling at the beginning, upward or vertically, is a no-no for a startup, except you have a grant that will help you manage that. Okay.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. So we startup don't think of scaling up right now unless you have a model. Unless we have a model, we know that okay, this thing is generating money. A model means something that once you do it today, you and use the same model, you are going to generate another funds for yourself, another fund for yourself. Then we cannot be thinking of scaling up. But now we don't have a model. We are not sure if 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 by the end of this month we generate as much as we have generated in the past month or more than what we have generated in the past month. So we should not think of scaling up until we have a model, something that is working for us. We know that this business we keep on giving us money, and is sustainable. Then we can think of scaling up. Thank you for this opportunity. So one last question for you, sir. Okay, we'll start with Mr. Renike. So the question is, how long did it take for you to break through? And how important is patience? So how long, Mrs. Renike, please, we would love you to address this. How long did it take you to break through? And how important is patience?
It's patience.
Yeah.
Joseph, how do you know that I've broken like Dangote's breakthrough? Okay, I'm just joking. It's relative. You can start a business today and you hammer tomorrow. In fact, some people even hammer first before they even start the business, but there are very few. But like we normal people, that start up will have to go through the test of um go through the test of it can take quite like 6 months, 1 year, that in the back of your mind that yes, you'll be making money, but you're making that money, you're putting it back into the business, like investing back into the business. It's not like if you can start a business now, the profits you have, you can already start using it to flange or buy lunch, go and have a nice time, buy iPhone 12. You can already, it's possible. But so you get to a point whereby dividends on the afford, like it's patience, then having like delayed gratification, these things that you do, but maybe today. So all the profit that you have, you now eat it up. You cannot now in your income. So very well, like 2015. I will say that by the ending of 2016, beginning of 2017, right, the business was now like really. So for us, there was so much work that had to be done the previous years. Again, it's relative, it depends on as well, right? Against success. So, it's not one size fits all. You can sometimes it might be 2 years. I'm not causing anybody, it might be 5 years, but just knowing that okay, for the long haul. And eventually, there's this rule that I heard, but I don't. By the 7th year, you will break through shiny, but I don't know how true that is, right? But I know that before we got to our 7th year, we had already broken through. And where we are now, compared to where we are going to, there's still another breakthrough in front. So I think that, once you've put in the work you're doing, it's just a matter of time that you would actually begin to see yields and dividends from the business. But it's just time. It's just time as
Chairman, please, I'm using it for an online meeting, please, for Zoom. I beg, please, in case maybe Zoom. Yeah.
Hey, please, can you mute everybody apart from Morinike that is talking?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so as Morinike finished her point, so you can go ahead and round up.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, Mrs. Morenike. You're able to tell us that the break even for different startup is quite different. Yes, that some might be immediate, even before they start even thinking of business plan, and some may be after we normal people, you have to go through the process. So it all depends on your business idea. It all depends on luck also. So whichever ways, it takes time, and whichever one that comes to you is fine. So breaking even is also, it also says something that they are in stages. So let's say that now that you have broken even, like you can employ staff, now you have another bigger goals that you have already set for the business, and so you're also aiming at that. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for today. Today has been a very great session with Mrs. Morenike and Mr. Peter Senator. We've learned a lot on how we can develop our business, and in short, creating a sustainability and keep moving forward with hard work, persistence, common sense. And we should also think about adding value. We should also learn to talk about our business, because that is where our customers are. We should learn to cut costs. We should think about sustainability, And we should also have the heart of service. So there has been a very great session with Ms. Morenike and Mr. Peterson Atoy. So can I hand over to Mr. Peter? Mr. Peter, please can you in this
Yeah,
session?
thank you very much. Let me re-echo the thank you to Morenike and Peterson, who graciously gave us their time. Like I've mentioned before, our speakers, they actually do this voluntarily. And if you were to pay to go and listen to any one of them speak, I'm sure you're going to dig deep into your pockets to be able to pay for that. But these are jewels that are being given to you on a free platter. And my hope and my wish is that you do not just throw it away, but you make good use of it, because it can actually be the starting point of something entirely new in your life. So thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. Thank you very much, Mrs. Morenike.
You are welcome, sir. Thanks for the privilege.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Are you also a musician? You've not given us all your talents, Morenike. Okay.
I wax my record soon.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Okay, guys. So to wrap up for today, throughout the week, we actually we're getting entries for the challenge, and recall we had to extend to the last Friday. That's this Friday, the 12th of March. And by the 12th of March, we've raked in quite a number of entries. I mean, there were so many. So out of that lot, we had to filter through and see those that probably have potentials and are relevant. And we were able to come up with 13 of those teams made it to the final. So I'm going to call out the final teams. So these final teams are the ones that will be judged by the judges. So we've already prepared their entries and all the documents that they submitted. And we are going to pass these documents on to the judges so that the judges can review. And like we mentioned, if the judges are not so satisfied with the documents that you provided, they may request for like a 10-minute presentation from you. So just get ready to make a pitch and do a presentation to support what you're submitting, and be able to answer questions in that line, because we're going to use this week between now and Saturday to call on individual teams to make a representation. So we're not going to call you all together. So it's going to be on a need basis, and it's going to be one-on-one, you, your team, and the judges. So throughout this week, the judges will be judging your submission based on the criteria that we earlier mentioned, which is the fact that your submission must be innovative, and it should be tech related, and it should have commercial potentials. That is, it should be able to make money when you launch it for the stakeholders that are involved. So those are the criteria that we're going to use to judge this week. And then by Sunday, next week Sunday, that is the 21st of March, we're going to have the final session. And in that session, we're going to announce the winners of this competition. And of course, the winners are going to be having funds to support their startup. Note that the fund is not for you to go and drink beer or for you to go and drink champagne, but the funds is for you to kickstart your startup. So for you to receive the funds, you must have registered with CAC. It has to be a corporate entity because funds can only be made available to the bank account of corporate entities. Okay, so just take note of that. So having said that, I'm going to go ahead to list out the finalists. And this is in no particular order, but just alphabetical. So it has nothing to do with whether you are on top or you are at the bottom. We just lined it up alphabetically. So the first team that made it is the team called 6,000 Steps. You can give them a round of applause, a virtual round of applause. And following 6,000 Steps, we have Green Up Solutions. Green Up Solutions, and we have Homer's Hope. I would have loved to say what these teams are doing, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, and especially the fact that some of the ideas are proprietary. So we are very, very careful as to who we allow see what you submitted so that we'll be able to guide your intellectual property. So continuing with the teams that have been selected, we have Market Square. Your team made it to the final. Militus Tech, your team made it to the final. Mobile Dish, your team made it to the final. We have Muse in the final. Panacea in the final. Team Cyrano's, you made it to the final. And then we have Team Shed Pro. Sorry, I've already mentioned Panacea. And Team Elite. And the final team, Opraxis. So these 12 teams are the ones that made it to the finals, and they would be competing for the top spot in this competition. So just keep your fingers crossed as the judges review your work, your submission this week. And if they have any needs, they would contact you, reach out to you, and request for a presentation. So congratulations to these teams for making it to the final of the Innovate Startup Challenge. And the truth is, all of the ideas that came in are fantastic ideas for a startup. But you know, we just have to make a selection, and that's the reason why we're doing this. So if you are able to put in an idea, know that your idea is not lost, but it's fantastic and you can actually run with it. So thank you very much and congratulations once more to these teams. So do we have any questions before we shut down for today? Do we have any questions? So if we don't have any question, I will assume that we're all okay. Also note that we also have the opportunity to ask questions in the WhatsApp group. So please, if you have further questions, you can ask as we proceed. So I wish all of you the best, all the 12 teams that made it to the final list. I wish you all the best as the judges review your submission and as you make your presentation to the judges when needed. I wish you all the best, and may the best team come out tops. So the next session we're going to be having is going to be on Sunday, the 21st of March, and it's going to be by 4 p.m. We'll be having Ledo Sayonde and Toby Pakwaunda. And once we are done with their talk, we're going to announce the final winners for this competition. So thank you, everybody, and do have a lovely evening. Good night, all.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Innovate, for considering Mobile Dish. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless.